everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Heidi. I'm completely blind so I don't look directly at you, but I promise I'm right here with you. So after my last video where I spoke a bit about, personal stuff and about my life, you had a few questions. So I promised you a Q&A video and here it is. So I will go over some questions. There were some perfume related questions, some more around how I do certain things on the daily, and I will answer those questions for you. So if you have more questions, please let me know and I will do another video like this for you. And as always, as I say, if I do these videos, I will make sure that it goes up on a Wednesday. My videos are usually Mondays and Fridays, but this will then just be an extra one so that you don't lose out on any perfume related content. So first things first, this is my scent of the day. This is Captivatingly Paris by Zara. This is a pear rose uber feminine fragrance. It is so good. This is a compliment getter. I get so many compliments for this one. I'm going out with friends tonight. We're going to a fish restaurant and I am definitely wearing this, as you can see. So that is it. Let me just take a sip of my, again, chai latte. So good. Okie dokie. So let's start with the perfume questions. So one of you asked me how many sprays do I spray of my fragrance. This is a difficult one because it depends on my fragrance and it also depends on whether I will be around people or not. If I know I'm not going to be around people, I don't care. I really go in with that fragrance and I can spray up to 15 sprays, I think. When I'm just me here in the house. However, if I go out to see people, it ranges from, I would say, 5 to 10 sprays. I think I sprayed this one 8 times now, or 7 times, 7 to 8 times. So a fragrance like Coco Mademoiselle, for example, I will spray, I would say 4 to 5 sprays, right? La Nuit Trésor, I've told you about that one. Definitely not more than 5, perhaps even 3, to be honest. But a fragrance like Vanilla Voyage, I will do 8 sprays. There are fragrances that are quite weak, and I'm trying to think now of one. Light Blue, there you go. Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana. I will spray about 10 sprays and then I will top it up quite frequently during the day, because the thing is I want to smell my fragrance. So also if I'm at work, yesterday I was at work, I also wore this one, the Captivatingly Paris. I sprayed probably also 8 before I left the house. Arriving at work, I sprayed about 3 sprays. Later in the day, about 3 sprays. So it just, depends on the fragrance, how long it lasts, will I be around people, all those sort of things. Then someone asked me, how many fragrances do I have? How many designer, how many Middle Eastern, and so forth and so forth. So I've counted, but I'm never sure if I missed one. If you've got so many fragrances, it's a bit difficult to count them all and to know that you've included all of them. But what I could gather is that I've got 66 designer, and that includes 11 of my Zara fragrances. So it's 55 designer plus my 11 Zara's 66. I've got 10 celebrity fragrances and around 85 Middle Eastern fragrances. Yeah, so that is, I don't know, 85 plus 66 plus 10. Can I do that math? I think it's about 162, around that. But it's definitely between 160 and 170 fragrances. And then there was a question, where do I keep and store my collection? Okay, So I'm going to try to explain it, but I think the best way I can really explain it is by showing it. Now, the thing is, I don't feel comfortable walking with my phone because I don't know whether it will focus, whether it will be tilted, you know, all those sort of things. It's really easy for me if my phone is stationary. I've got a GoPro camera and I've used it last year to show my collection and my organization, which has changed significantly. So the thing is, here's the thing, I will try to film that with my GoPro. I will be behind the camera then, and then please, I will need you to, and I will ask in the video again, I will need you to tell me whether the quality is acceptable. I don't think it will be spectacular, but whether it is acceptable, so that I know in future if I want to do other demonstrations, because the next questions will go into more things that I should also demonstrate. If I should go into further demonstrations, I want to know that I'm doing it at least in a way that you can follow me. Okay. So hopefully that's a deal. If you can help me, please, to help you. Okay. So, but let me just explain to you briefly how I organize my fragrances. So you can see behind me there are many fragrances on that shelf, right? That I pack out there for my video content so that you have something to look at the back. What I'm hoping for in the end is to have empties behind me, and I've decided this after I actually threw away my empties of last year. Now I'm so mad at myself, but I want these two shelves behind me. It's two shelves next to each other. I want it to be filled with empties because I actually don't want my fragrances to be exposed to light, and my room is very much exposed to varying levels of light and sunlight, and I don't think they get direct exposure, but I want to give them the best chance of lasting. So that is the hope, that one day there will just be empties behind me. At the moment, on the furthest shelf, I don't know if you can see that one, there's Zara fragrances, and behind me just some of my fragrances that I chose for the last few videos. Then I've got a cabinet for my designer and celebrity fragrances, and I've got a cabinet for my Middle Eastern fragrances. The cabinet for my Middle Eastern fragrances is completely closed. No one can see in there. Firstly, it is so many fragrances, and secondly, you know, the bottles are not always the best looking. So I've got 4 shelves in that cabinet. The one is completely dedicated to Paris Corner, the one to Lattafa, and then there's one where I have all my Armavs, my Fragrance World, my Heka Tatar, and one where I have my Cartelage, my Swiss Arabian, Maison Alhambra, Maison Asrar, those fragrances. So I've got a system there because I just thought earlier this year I need to get a system so that I know exactly where my fragrances go, you know, so that when I pack it up after a video, it's not where would I put this? No, I will know. Then I've got a cabinet. It's got on top, it's got a glass door and it's got 3 shelves. So the one shelf has got all my Lancome fragrances. That is simply because my Lancome is, you know, the brand that I have the most fragrances of in the designer realm. Then the one shelf has got Dolce & Gabbana, because once again I've got loads of Dolce & Gabbana. And then the one has got just what I regard to be beautiful bottles, like Mon Guerlain by Guerlain and my Chanel's and so on. And then I've got 2 drawers underneath that, and there, the top drawer, I have just the rest of my designer fragrances, and the bottom drawer are my cheap designer fragrances, plus my celebrity fragrances. Sorry, so that is just a quick rundown of how I organize my fragrances. So it's really mostly by brand that I organize them, not by season, not by type. That will just confuse me to no end. So I rather have it by brand. Ideally, I would have wanted to have it like a library, you know, from A to Z, the brands arranged from A to Z, just because I like order and things that make sense. Okay, so let's go into the more how do I do things. Oh, and I hope I will be able to answer this in a way that's accessible. Okay, so someone asked me, if you say you see nothing, is it nothing or just cloudy? So in the video that I spoke about me, I said I see nothing. And that is true. In this eye, which I told you was removed when I was about 4 or 5 months old, around there, I see nothing. This eye 100% sees nothing. Not darkness, not lightness, nothing. Nothing. It's like if I say, can this glass see? You know, it really sees nothing. This eye, and I think it's because I could see out of this eye, doesn't see anything as well. But if I concentrate and I try to look, I will get flashes of light or flashes of darkness in front of it. I think that is just phantom seeing because I was used to see. But if I just don't concentrate, I see nothing. So it's not cloudy. Another friend of mine who watched my video, she said that she actually does see darkness. And I said, but that's so interesting. And she said, look, she still has her original eyes. But she said for her, her sight went away gradually. So she said it was like the dimming of lights very gradually. And she said that is why she thinks her brain might interpret it as darkness, even though it might not be darkness. So yeah, do you imagine faces? Yes, I do. I do imagine faces. I remember what my mom looked like when I was 9 or 10 years old. I remember what my sisters looked like. So I can sort of imagine what they would look like now, but I think in my mind they will always be young. So, but I do imagine faces. I do imagine what color someone's hair is. And believe me, I don't have magical powers. I often get it very wrong. So, and someone might sound very skinny and then they might be a bit larger, or they might sound large and then they're very skinny, or you know, it's very interesting. So I don't think I've got an accurate depiction, but I've got quite a vivid imagination. So I imagine, as I talk about things, I also imagine it. So just like that, I imagine faces. But I'm also very curious. So I will ask people, I'm curious, what does that person look like? What does that person look like? Oh, if I like someone, if I'm interested in someone, I 100% want to know what he looks like. People often say, oh, but it's so wonderful, you just go for personality. That might partly be true, right? That might partly be true, because that is what first attracts me to someone. But I 100% want to know what he looks like. Yeah, 100%. And I will ask people, so tell me, what does this person look like? What color is his eyes, you know, because I want to form that picture. Then the next question is, how do you cook? Okay, so this is a question I think that best can be answered by demonstrating. So we are going to check how the GoPro goes, and if that goes well, I will take you on a cook with me video in the future. I guess I cook like most people, but with a few adjustments. So, for example, if I fry mincemeat, right? I'm making spaghetti and I'm not sure, is the mince brown? I take my phone, I open my AI app. I've got an AI app, it's called Be My Eyes. I take a picture of the mince. It will tell me, for example, meat cooking on a stove top, and then I will ask, luckily I can ask, is the meat brown already? And then it will say it still have some pink parts in it, perhaps you should stir it a bit more. So that is one of the adaptations I use. I've got a measuring scale that actually broke. I have to get myself a new one that speaks. It's got, you know, if I put something on the scale, it will say 200 grams, you know. So that is also some adjustment I make. If I want to check what spices I have, once again, I use my phone. I hold it up to the spices and it will tell me paprika or cinnamon. It doesn't do it so well, but if it just say pap, then I know, okay, it's paprika, you know? So I hope that makes sense. Furthermore, I can't say that I cook differently than anyone else. Oh, I like this question. How do you shop for your own clothing? Three methods. Three methods. The one I 100% prefer is to shop with someone. Like if I go with my mom, oh man, we have such fun. Or if I go with one of my sisters, I love it. You know, because in real time, someone can tell me that looks good. And also the biggest perk is, you know, if I walk into the shop, I don't know what clothes there is, right? Or, yeah, I don't know what clothing are available. But my mom would say, for example, oh, Heidi, this dress, oh my goodness, you have to try it on. And I might not even have known that the dress was there. So that is what I really like about shopping with someone. Mostly, unfortunately, how I shop is not in real time. So I would ask, for example, my sisters, can you just check on the website for me and can you just send me links of dresses that you find beautiful? And then I will go to the store, I will show them the photos, I will try it on. Or, and this is what I mostly do, is I go to the store, I ask the shop assistant, can you please help me to, well, I have to tell you a funny story, but I will tell it now. Can you help me to find a dress? But then they will usually ask, so what dress are you looking for? And I'm like, I don't know what's available, you know, and it's not, I don't always get the impression that they show me what all the things that are available. And even if they do, I might think, that doesn't sound nice. You know, there's a dress that I sometimes wear on here. I think it is orange and a bit green and beige, if I'm not mistaken. Perhaps you know what dress I'm talking about. Now, if a shop assistant should have described that dress to me, I would have thought, oh no, my goodness, that too many colors, take it away. But because I trust my mom, and when she showed it to me, I was like, okay, if you are so enthusiastic about it, then I'm going to take it, right? So, and I got so many compliments on that dress. I would never have thought of trying on that dress. Okay, but then I asked the assistant, I go to the fitting room, I try on the clothes, the assistant take a picture and I will send it to my family and then they will say yes or no. So that is the one I the most often do, where I just go, because sometimes you just want to go now, you know. Most of my family live in the Western Cape, which is 2 hours flight from here. So, you know, there's not always help available. And sometimes you just want to go shopping on a whim. So the funny story I want to tell you is once I went to the store and I wanted to buy some things, but I didn't need, you know, I didn't need to go buy something that really needed a specialized eye, if you can put it like that. I wanted slippers, I wanted some underwear, and here comes the assistant, and it's a man. And I think, oh no, I want to buy underwear. And usually I would say, look, can you please get me a female assistant? But I thought, you know what, I'm in a hurry. We are going to do this. And at each section of the store, there's an assistant at that section who can help. You know what I mean? So I thought he wouldn't have to physically show me what's available. In any case, I know exactly what I want. He wouldn't have to. I will ask the assistant. He just have to escort me to all of these different sections of the shop that I want to go to. He was so sweet. So we went to buy slippers, we went to buy shoes. What else? I think pajamas, and then we went to the underwear. So there was a lady at that section, and you know, I told her exactly what I want. And I said to the man, oh man, I'm so sorry, because I thought, shame man, now he's standing here waiting for me. He said to me, no, don't worry, ma'am, I'm learning things today. And I thought, how sweet, how sweet. I will never forget that. But yeah, that is how I shop for clothing. Let me see another. How do you get ready alone? Okay, this is once again one that I should actually demonstrate, but picking my clothes in the morning, let's start there. I know what my clothes feel like, and I know what colors they are. If I buy my clothes, I will feel for distinctive things, you know. Does it have different buttons? What does the belt of this dress feel like? Does it have a collar? And then I remember, okay, this is the pink dress with the white flowers. Okay, this is the orangey one with green. Okay, this is the black dress. This dress that I've got on, I've got an exact one in black. So in that instance, I don't know. So what I sometimes do is I cut a piece out of the label so that I remember, okay, this is the black one. But I often forget that. I don't know why. I forget which one that I cut. So then I will just take like my phone once again, take a picture and ask what color is the dress. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. AI has made it so easy. With my makeup, I guess I apply it like anyone else, but without a mirror. So let me be very honest. It's not always perfect. It's really not always perfect. So I put on mascara, and once again, I can demonstrate that for you at some stage. The only thing is, I will have to think how I will demonstrate it, because I use my phone, and I also use my phone to record. But okay, so I put on mascara, I put on a BB cream, tinted BB cream, because look, I've given up on foundation. I apply lipstick. Some of you might have noticed that I've started using lipstick more often. That is because my sister in Cape Town, she showed me finally, we got it down how to apply lipstick. I could never do it. And I said to her, does my lipstick look right? She said, just, you know, move your lower lip over your upper lip. And she said, oh, perfect. So now I feel a bit more confident with that. I'm still not confident that the lipstick is not on my teeth. And even when I do my videos, I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't go on my teeth. Anyway, yeah, I apply lipstick, mascara, BB cream, and sometimes blush. What I really want to try is eyeshadow. But I might ask Nandi, because apparently she wears eyeshadow. So I will ask her to just show me how to do that. Then I take, once again, my phone. I take a picture. I ask, is my lipstick right? Is my mascara right? Now, sometimes it will say there's a smudge of mascara on your upper right lid, right? Then I will rub it, and it might say it is still there. And then I go for the second option, and that is to call a volunteer. On that app, you can call a volunteer. The volunteer answer, and I will say, please, can you check my makeup? I'm going to work. And the person will be like, okay, and directing me, oh, the smudge is there. Okay, now it's gone. And I will ask, is there any lipstick on my teeth? So there the human help comes in. I will sometimes even confirm. Yesterday I confirmed with an Uber driver. I said, please, it's a weird question, but is my lipstick okay? Basically how I do it. I hope that answers your question. I think I've got 2 questions left. How would you describe your personal style? This is a very difficult question. At home, I like comfort. My personal style at home is pajamas. That is it. Unless I'm filming, it's pajamas. That is my personal style. The older I get, the more I want comfort. I used to be very much into heels. At the moment, my poor heels are just lying in my cupboard, not being worn, because I'm just like, I want comfort, But I would say when I go outside, my personal style is feminine. It's like what I wear. If you're asking about clothes, I hope I understood the question right. I wear what I wear when I record videos. So very much I love feminine looking clothing, a bit of jewelry, putting on makeup and putting on a nice dress. In wintertime, I would say I mostly wear jeans. Jeans, hoodies, jeans, jerseys. So there it's a bit more laid back, a bit more comfort. As you all know, I'm so looking forward to winter, but what I'm not looking forward to is wearing a jean, because I don't know if I will fit into that jean. I don't know if you know the fear. If you know the fear, like the video. Wait, if you don't like the fear, also like the video. I'm so scared of jeans because they don't lie. Dresses lie. Pajamas lie. It tells you are still alright. No way you've gained weight. But a jean is like, I am here to tell you the truth. It is that friend that is just straightforward and don't spare your feelings and think that you will grow as a result of their honesty. So, it's quite a cold day outside today. It's overcast and I'm going out like I told you, and I might have to put on a jean and I am dreading it. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Last question. Have you ever felt fear of people who you feel might take advantage of you? Okay, so I wouldn't say that it is something I actively fear. It's not like I go to the shop and I fear someone will take advantage of me, or I walk with my dog and I fear someone will take advantage of me. But it's something that if it happens, or if I suspect that it happened, I'm aware of it and it angers me to no end. For example, I had a person who worked in my garden, and my friends would tell me, your grass is so long, when last did he cut your grass? Now things like that makes me mad. And because I feel like I can't see it. So then it feels to me like you are taking advantage of me. So in that instance, I will ask friends, can you please come and do an inspection? And I will tell the person, you need to cut the grass, you need to do this, you need to do that, so that they know I know. You know what I'm saying? I have felt that, for lack of a better word, men that are a bit creepy have tried to take advantage of me, and I don't know exactly in which way, but let me tell you the story. I was still married, and I was shopping in this one supermarket always. And one day I was walking home from the supermarket, and here comes a man. Never spoken to the man, don't know him from anywhere. He introduced himself to me and he says to me that he loves me. That's exactly what he says. I know it sounds ridiculous. You have to be there to believe it. He said to me, I just want to say I love you. And can I have your phone number? I said to him, but I was so baffled because I thought, but you don't know me. You don't know me. You can't even say that you like me because you don't know me. So I said, look, my husband wouldn't like it if I give my number to men. And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were married. But he was still standing there, still walking with me. And all that I'm thinking is, I can't go home. I can't go home. He can't know where I live, because I don't know if he wants to come and rob me or something worse, you know. So I just stood still in front of friends of mine house, and luckily my friend's husband came out, and he said to him, look, what are you doing? And he said, no, I'm just trying to help her. And my friend's husband said, it's not very nice to help someone if they didn't ask for your help. And so then the guy left. But there I felt scared and I felt angry. So yeah, it's not, like I say, it's not like I'm walking around feeling suspicious or fearing something. But when it happens, it either angers me, makes me scared, depending on the situation. And yeah, that is it. So thank you for your questions. I hope I've answered it in a way that explained things well. And yeah, if you want to ask anything else, I'm more than willing to answer your questions. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today for this bit of a different kind of video. I appreciate you as always. I hope you have a fabulous rest of the week. Bye for now.